Welcome to the Joseph Vivaldi podcast. I've taken a hiatus for a little bit, but now I'm back. And I'm not going to dwell on things of the past as I have been through blogs, through podcasts, and everybody is wondering about my condition and everything else. Let's just say I'm fine and I'm moving on and I'm gearing up for this next season. I'm going to repeat the words that I read from an image with Seth Rollins. It says, "It is only after we've lost everything that we are free to do anything, redesign, rebuild, reclaim." Anyone who has followed wrestling, if anyone still watches wrestling, which I'm sure they do, knows that last year, sometime around this time, Seth Rollins was on top of his game. He was champion. He was ready to coast all the way to defending his belt at WrestleMania. And then, around this time last year, he had injured his meniscus knee, went out, complete blowout during a wrestling match. He had to sit on the sidelines for 9 months, including sitting out during WrestleMania, which would have been his match because it was his year. Well, you may ask, why am I discussing about Seth Rollins in a podcast that has talked about relationships, horrors, talked about this, talked about that? Well, you know what? I am changing the format of this show. I'm going to do things differently now. Everything has a direction, but I'm changing it up. Fact is this: Seth Rollins had to do something that he is set out to do, and everything is a catchphrase. So his catchphrase now is redesign, rebuild, reclaim. Well, he's the architect. Now, every one of us, when we're down, when we're out, maybe people are there, maybe people aren't, maybe you run around trying to figure out what are your places in the world now that you aren't there anymore, that you have to train, you have to get yourself in shape, you have to do whatever it takes just to get back there. And you know what? Some people, they forget about you. Some people move on and don't think about you. Don't even think about giving you a phone call. Don't think about doing whatever. Don't think about anything. Don't even check up and see how you are with the training, how you're doing with whatever. But you know what? That is what happened to Seth Rollins. Sure, people wrote in. You know what? It was Seth Rollins every single day working and training and doing whatever it took just to rebuild himself to get to where he was before. Anybody knows any injury is not good. Heck, they were putting him down before, saying he's not that great. But I've seen him in wrestling matches where he faced the number one competitors, challenged him to the limit, and beat him. Sure, he had everyone. But you know what? Kind of like friends. You know, they will be there for you to only help you, to fight your enemy, to do whatever. But you know what? Deep down inside, it's got to be you that faces that enemy, that faces that demon, that faces and challenges whatever you need to accomplish. That is what Seth Rollins is doing and has done. Seth Rollins came back. And you know what? He faced the fans again. They were all happy that he made it back, that he's back wrestling. They're cheering, whatever. You know what? Seth did not forget where he was and where they were. And he did not forget that they were not there when he was in the hospital bed, lying there. They were not there when he went through his hell. They were not there. You know what? People will try and do whatever it takes and say, you know, we're there for you. We're there for you. Give you advice. Do this. Meanwhile, you know you're hitting rock bottom. And you feel it. You feel it in the core of your bones. And you feel it. Hey, everyone can try to help. You know what? No one's going to know what rock bottom is until you hit rock bottom. And that is what Seth Rollins had done after the injury. Redesign, rebuild, reclaim. No. It's not just a catchphrase. Something more than that. When you have your heart ripped away from you, you have that soul, you have something that is meaning and dear for you, that you have to give it up and let somebody have that prize and win it, have that ride, just like Seth did watching Roman Reigns win that title in WrestleMania during his WrestleMania, it leaves a scar. It leaves a scar. Now he contends against Kevin Owens, who basically put him down. And Seth couldn't say anything, because he knew it was true. He knew that he didn't do the job and he didn't win. He knew that he had that help. He knew he had all of it. But you know what? He'd been saying that for a long time about Seth. But you know what? Little do they know, Triple H put every challenge in his way. He put the Canes against him. He put the Cenas against him. He put Brock against him. He put a lot of challengers his way. But you know what? Despite they say Seth was a coward and ran, he fought all those challengers till his injury. More after the break.
Are you feeling down? Is it the holiday season again? Are you going through the seasonal blues? No need to get down on yourself. The Enlightened Way, How the Zen Path Can Help Treat Depression, can help. In this book, you will learn how through meditation you can start to overcome those blues. Also, you will learn about how discipline can lead to freedom in depression. This is no time to be sloppy and careless about life. The key is to be focused when everything is dark and grim. Suffering is a part of life, and the Zen Path will help us understand this. The Enlightened Way, How the Zen Path Can Help Treat Depression, by Joseph Vivaldi. You can begin your journey. Now available on Amazon Kindle.
I'm back at the podcast. Just talking about Seth Rollins. You know what? This is what I say. I know exactly how Seth feels. Not exactly, but I can relate. Because last year I was on top of my game too. And like Seth, it all came crashing down on me in one moment. I could dwell on that moment, which I have been, replaying over in my head, over and over and again in my head, just like it has with Seth Rollins, because I'm sure Roman winning that title that night on WrestleMania played over and over and over in his head like a broken record. You know what happens with broken records? They scratch. They get loud. Doesn't play the same. It repeats itself.